Hi, everyone. Welcome.
Okay.
Welcome back. So Heather and I are here to do number fourth episode of 6. There will be on Bohemian Grove by Paranormal Files, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, if you haven't already, please subscribe, like, share, leave your comments. We love to hear your comments, and we try to reply to as many as possible. I don't think there's anything really left to say unless you have something. No, it's like I think we just what haven't we said in all the other videos?
Right.
In the first 3. Yes.
Yes. Check out the others if you haven't had a chance because they build on one another. So that's really important to see what we're talking about.
Yes, because it's Paranormal Files has one long video. It's several hours, and so we had to cut it up. Otherwise, there's no way we could have done it.
Right.
So, yes, if you want to know more about us, if you want to know our services, if you have paranormal activity in your house and need it cleared, we are at tcseverydaypsychics.com. All right, let's go.
So we arrived. We're here in Monte Rio, California. This is the small town. The entrance gate to Bohemian Grove is like 2 minutes from where we are right now, which is crazy. All the shots that I'm going to show you, all this kind of surrounding wooded area on a certain side of the river is the Bohemian Grove. We actually booked a hotel room at a place called the Boho Manor. I didn't even know this, but it's like right at the entrance gate to Bohemian Grove. So I'm sure that those people are going to have some stories to share if we ask them.
Or they won't want to share because they bring them a lot of people. Bring a bunch of traffic through that place.
It's really interesting. This is a beautiful area. The fuck is going on here in the woods? That's the big question that everybody across the planet has. We're gonna go check into our hotel and we don't know exactly what we're gonna do yet. We do want to get into the wooded area around the grove to do some poking and prodding, but
also don't want to do too much poking and prodding that would get us arrested.
Yeah, don't want to get arrested or killed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? See this guy staring at us?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna stop there. And the reason I'm stopping is because I remembered something. When we used to do, and that would be like Marilyn and I, when we would do reaction videos and our ghost POVs, we would say, if someone asked us to clear this space, what would that look like? And then we would talk about it. Well, one of our longtime listeners had left a comment once. How would you clear that place? So I want to remember to do that, to let everyone know. And I'm going to write that down. And it doesn't mean that we can, because we can't. We have not been asked to go there. But yes, he would like to know. So
I feel like if asked, I would be sweating and pulling my hair out. Like, oh, okay. Yeah, we can definitely get this done.
Yes, we just have to tell them what we would do.
Yeah.
So, and thank you, Rooster, for that suggestion and reminder that's a great thing to put in our video.
It is.
All right, we'll keep going. I just wanted to say it. Here we go.
The fuck was that? Guy literally was staring at us in the eyes, and then he went and pointed. Please confirm that just happened, so people don't think I'm making that shit up. What the fuck, bro? That was crazy. We're just sitting in this parking lot. He was staring at us, and then like
right after I say, but not enough poking and prodding that it would get us arrested.
Well,
he's just walking around the whole parking lot, but then staring us down.
I do want to say something. If any of you have been to a small town, like a small town, or live in a small town, you know that people stare. It's
Oh,
like a hobby in a small, no matter how many like tourists come through or whatever, they're going to stare, and they're not always really kind. They kind of want you to go away, really.
they get tired of it. That's
Yeah.
the impression, is that the people in the town are tired of the attention
Yes.
of the Grove, and they live there too. They have nothing to do with this
At all.
It's their home, and they want to be respected and be separate from the goings on.
You can kind of feel the anger. Is that the right
Resentment.
word? That like there's an underlying sort of, yeah, it's a little more than frustration.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely. So you have the small town, plus you have that added in, and I'm sure they're going to be stared at a lot, like go away. Yeah.
Right.
All right.
Just so people believe me.
That's the car that flew around us.
Oh yeah. What the fuck? All right, let's go check in.
At this point, we decided to walk around Monte Rio, California, and ask anyone and everyone questions. I had purchased a hidden spy recording video camera that I was going to use to record the conversations, but I had no idea exactly how dark these conversations were going to get. You see, for years, I've known that there's something darker happening at Bohemian Grove. Something that the club members don't want the public to know about.
I'm wondering, there's sort of this faint feeling that I don't know if they're actually, I'm going to say they're not actually like Bohemian Grove employees or something, but I do think there are people there that report back to some like they watch everyone that comes through. If they do too much or they linger too long, or they're, like they watch out, and then maybe they get paid for information, or they get something from it. Or maybe it's just the high of knowing these highfalutin people who own the Grove.
Ooh. Yeah. That could be.
Yeah.
That does land.
Like it makes them feel good to know these important people, what they, well, but.
Yeah.
All right, here we go.
Now, I'm not alleging here that everybody who's involved in the Bohemian Club is a bad guy. I really don't think that they are. But I think that there's a small subsect within the Bohemian Club that does some pretty shady, dark, and disturbing things. That's why I knew I had to get there in person to ask the locals about what they knew about Bohemian Grove. Like I said, these are hidden camera recorded conversations, and these are some really disturbing details you're about to hear.
I can't watch that.
Makes me
It's around so bad.
I got a question. Y'all been around? Yeah, where did you travel? Check out like some road. I record again. Hour 34. All out the trip. You work there? They sell the album. Really, that's a lot of stuff.
I don't have any audio.
You're gonna go.
You can't hear it.
Oh.
Very low. Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, it's very low, so you're just gonna have to read it.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Okay. And I also got that he said I pissed on the owl. I got that that's a lie. I got that didn't really happen. Maybe near it, or he wanted to. or something, but I don't believe that he did.
Mm-hmm.
I don't believe that.
I don't either.
Yeah. Okay.
Austin's bridge right here, yeah. And then right there, there's gonna be like a light intersection, yeah. Just keep on going straight, you're gonna see it says Bohemian Highway. Yeah, we're staying at the, ever see any place over here from here, man? You see how bad there's bridge right here? You see everywhere. And people who work there, they make it check like everything long. Yeah. Yeah, girls getting touched and shit, like, and they, like, she couldn't do nothing about it, because you have to sign a waiver saying that you can't talk about anything that goes on there and shit, you know? And they fired her, and like, they can't really do that shit, and all kinds of there's like these like black luxury buses and shit that go in there, and they all have pussies and shit, you know what I mean? Because, okay, so I've been working with this researcher, and I do a lot of stuff. Like, I mean, you can, like, pedophile rape shit. I've heard that, but I've never get everyone that works there about it. Because they hire the schools and shit, you know what I mean? Local schools. Yeah, we had your, like hire kids work there. Yeah, like 14 years old, and they don't even need a liquor license or anything to serve alcohol and shit. Everyone there is basically like, you know, minors and shit, you know what I mean? Like serving. Like boy and shit. Because I was working at nighttime and shit. They're like, oh, we're gonna do the special day, you know what I mean? I think, you know, they go like, yeah, they give him like these blouses and shit. His chest was all popping out and shit. Like, he came back like at 3 in the morning. I'm like, dude, what the happened? My cousin, he works there, he's been there for a long time. He's like good at groundskeeping and shit. And they just jump my fucking these followers up and he doesn't go in on them. You know, one time I was like driving in and shit, and they were like start yelling, what do you mean, bro? And I like 2 in the morning, they do that ceremony and shit, and it's just lines up in the air, bro.
Okay, I have to stop for a second. I have to read it because I can't hear it, and then the background's going, and it's like I need a second.
Yeah.
Woo. Yeah. What do you think about what he's saying? I think some of it is,
Questioning it.
yeah,
I think some of it is accurate. Some of it,
yeah.
I don't agree with.
I
It
think,
may be stuff he's heard from
Yes.
other people.
I would just say rumor, hearsay.
Right.
Yeah. And could all of that be true? Yes, but
Mhm.
he's saying it as if he has witnessed it.
Right. And
That's not, he hasn't done that,
mm-mm.
right?
Yeah.
No. All right. Whew. I needed my eyes needed a rest for a moment.
Yeah.
So, okay. And I do wish that Paranormal Files would not beep on the bad word. You can say those words on YouTube. Like, you can say cuss words, you can say all of that. But I guess maybe if he
So.
wants young people to watch it, maybe he has to do that or something. I don't know why you'd want kids watching this, but anyway, you can. I say them all the time. I let them fly, and
Right.
that's just part, and it's okay.
Yeah.
But it makes it harder because you can't hear it. You're reading it, and then you hear these beep beep beeps, and it's like, yeah. All right. Whew, here we go.
And I have my kids to walk back and forth like this fucking dining hall to a bar and like back in the grove, in the grove and shit. And like you just see a bunch of like you just walk up, you know what I mean? Like all these Irish people and shit. You ever heard of crazy shit? Like I read a bunch of shit. It's goes the way and it's like it's connected to Bristol and shit like that. Most of the rich people they go through this way with the Bohemian Highway and like all this like shit. Portuguese go, but you've heard like such stuff. Like, yeah. My dad actually used to be a chef, and he said that they'll bring like kilos of coke, cause like there's different camps and shit. You get, yeah, like it'll be like the main like dining hall and the bar and grill area where I used to work out and shit. But like up in the like there'll be like different camps up like where they have like private events and shit, and they used to do it up there, and they said that they'll fuck that like kilos of coke and shit. So yeah, they'll do get ass shit. And I'd imagine you'd have to like buy that shit somewhere and transport it, because I don't think there's any dealer moving like kilos of coke around. The politicians, they're the one bringing it in. Exactly. Interesting stuff, man. Like also there's like that trail that on Bohemian Highway. That's just connected to just like all the way to the back, that like rock board thing. Is there a place that's like, we don't want to necessarily go on properties. Is there a place where you can park, be like right there? Man, off like along the bridge, you stop like keep going straight. Well, interesting shit, bro. I appreciate you guys. Stay safe.
All right, guys. So we're sitting here outside of a grocery store in Monte Rio. This hidden camera key fob thing has really been coming in handy asking locals questions. Because somebody just told me, there was two of them, they said that not only had they worked at Bohemian Grove, but they saw assaults happening. There were children that apparently were there. They'd heard, stories of things, and there was even stuff that I was asking them that they said they didn't really want to go into it. Like, it was so dark. And like the moment that I asked them, they lit up. That's crazy, saying they bring kilos of cocaine in. Like, they knew the chef, and they were bringing it in, and they heard about like prostitutes being piped in and out, and like more orgies like with the members. He said that he saw naked dudes in the woods a lot, just completely naked walking around.
I mean, it's crazy to think, like, hearing that all this stuff was happening last week in the Bohemian Grove.
2 days ago. It's Tuesday and it ended on Sunday. That shit was just happening in those woods, and I'm sure there's people out in the Grove right now cleaning up and working on all of it.
So this whole kilos of coke thing, that sounds so 80s and 90s. like you just don't hear that anymore.
No, I don't even know how much a kilo is.
A lot. Isn't that like a big old brick? I don't know. I have no idea. No idea. All of you people who know, please let us know in the comments. So, but I don't know, and it's just not. It's all of what they said was just not same thing. Just not completely ringing true.
It just seems very salacious.
Yes. Yes. And yeah. So, okay. And those of you watching, please let us know about the whole drug thing. I mean, everything that, obviously we don't do drugs, but
right.
Like, you just don't hear about coke anymore. You just don't, you hear of other drugs now in this day and time, but not that. So that makes me feel like he maybe from before, or maybe it was something else. It wasn't coke that was coming. It was something else. Because it's just not landing right with me.
Well, and the feeling.
Yes.
When we've tapped in to that drug feeling.
Yes.
It feels like something that would cause.
Yes.
Hallucination, or it wouldn't. But coke, I know, is a stimulant from my studies.
Right.
So this is not a stimulating feeling that we experience. It is a depressant feeling. It's and
not
get hallucinations.
Yes, and not necessarily alcohol. Alcohol has a whole distinct feel to it. It's kind of like depressant. It's like maybe somebody might have, when we were feeling it before, maybe someone might have had a drink with it or something, but it wasn't, I didn't feel necessarily drunk. It was drugged, right?
Yes.
If I remember. Yeah, good point.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that just doesn't match every time that that feeling has come up thus far.
Yes.
That drug doesn't match it.
And just from a human standpoint, when someone does a lot of and shit, and shit, and shit, it's kind of like a yada, yada, yada. Like, are we supposed to know are we supposed to fill in the blanks ourselves? Are we, when someone's giving information like that?
Yes.
Feels like that, like a yada, yada, yada. And, like,
Right.
no, actually, I don't. So, and shit just feels like I don't know the rest of the story, but I'm just going to throw that and let you think what you want or something. Like, I don't really know, but yeah.
I also wondered if they were in any way paid for their time to talk, or if any of them are paid.
Sure.
Because that, and it's not wrong to do that.
No.
Makes sense to do that because
Yeah.
people are inclined to talk if you say,
Yeah.
I reimburse you for your time.
Yes. If there's an incentive.
It's an incentive. Yes.
Yeah.
So some sort of an incentive can unfortunately bring with it the tendency to be salacious and to add in details that are not accurate because they want to give for that incentive that they received. So one has to be really careful with it. I'm just wondering about it.
Tell me how this lands for you.
Okay.
That there are people in the town, whether it's them or they get paid to give wrong information.
Oh.
They get paid to murky the waters. They get paid to, like, maybe those guys go back and someone, those same people that have people maybe they're some of the watchers. So they purposely met up with these two, to sort of talk and see why they were there. Maybe that's just a ruse. Is that what you call it?
Ruse. Yeah.
Ruse. Yeah.
That is possible because the thing I heard from Spirit earlier, I heard it. They said that these guys stick out like a sore thumb in that town. So it would have been very easy to know that they were there and they're filming, and you kind of put two and two together.
Yes. And
why they might be filming.
I'm just gonna walk over there, see if they ask about Bohemian Grove, and I'll feed them a bunch of stuff, and then I can go back and tell whoever they are that there's some people in town asking about Bohemian Grove, and I'd like some money, please, for that information. Or that's the deal.
That may be it. Interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that might. And now those specific guys, I'm not sure, but
Others.
the whole thing felt off.
Yeah.
The whole thing felt off. And what feels better is that they're actually murking the waters. They're actually getting paid but I don't know. Yeah. There's not, I don't have a real clear understanding of that. So interesting.
So many motives.
I know.
Because it can also be, there's a feeling of the resentment of townspeople, people who live there. Give them stuff so they'll leave.
Yes.
Give them information so that they will go away. This is exhausting.
Yes.
We are only known because of the Grove and whatever's going on there. That feeling there's multiple motives. It's hard to tell.
And all of those can exist all in the same space, right? Every one of those can exist. Every one of those.
Wow. And I'm feeling a literal push and pull with them, with these different motivations. It's so odd.
Yeah. And it could be different people with different motives, even the same people with different motives. Like this time it warrants this time it might warrant that, or, yeah, it's the energy around that. Like you said, the push and pull, it's kind of confused. You can't quite grab a hold of anything, like slips out.
Yep.
Very interesting. Whew. You're definitely onto something there, Heather. All right, are we ready to go, or do you want more time?
Ready to go.
Okay.
Damn, that's crazy. So far, talked to a bunch of people who like don't know anything about it, and then yeah, we're gonna keep asking questions, and we're heading to the library right now. That's where they told me that we could go look at some stuff and ask questions.
So those last two guys sent me to a local library where they said that I could find more information about the Grove. And once again, I don't think I was really ready for what I was about to hear. Buckle up, because this gets crazy.
You won't be allowed anywhere near it.
Yeah, no, I know.
They have people pop out of the bushes.
Yeah,
I used to live about 20 acres from the back side of Human Grove. And I got a new dog one time, and I brought her home. And I bought her. She was being renowned. Found some people that came from Texas. And when I got to my driveway, I lived in a lot of acres, and the dog pulled out of my hand.
Mm-hmm.
She showed up at the BOHEMIAN Grove 7 days later. And I got interrogated. Your dog ran over there? It's like the worst place a dog could possibly go.
Okay, I have to stop it. I'm sorry. So what was coming through was some of these people, like this guy, this is a real story that he's telling that actually happened. The BOHEMIAN Grove, those people, they can't go harm everyone in the town, right? It would bring so much heat on them. That would be an investigation they would not want happening in the town. So asking those other people to do those other things, this is what they're like. There's so many different stories, what's true, what isn't. So they're just adding to it, right? Doesn't that put those kind of things together?
Yeah, it does.
Because I heard very distinctly, excuse me, that don't hurt the townspeople, don't kill them, which they're very capable of doing that. They intimidate them, but they don't outright threaten them, is what I'm getting. Interesting.
I also got you would have more luck if you were there talking to people, just bringing up other random topics, saying nothing about the Grove. And then you would get information about the Grove that would be more truthful.
Yes, because they would just start talking.
Than if you go there and ask directly about it.
Because people do want to share what they know. Interesting, Heather.
Almost like if you went and you were like, oh, I really want to see the area, and you went to the park or a lake. And
it's a great place to hike here.
Exactly. What's the history? I just want to learn about it.
Yes.
It would lead to more truthful info.
And then act at like Bohemian what? I've never heard of that.
Act completely naive.
Yes. Yeah. I agree. You get more honesty.
Yes.
Interesting. All right. Ready? Okay.
I was literally here on about 7 days without food or God knows you don't drink the river water. And oh my God, I was put through hell with that. You know?
And I mean, out of curiosity, what did they ask you? Like, is your dog like a secret sign?
How she got here, where I got her from, how she got in the state. I had to bring the papers. I mean, I had to bring stuff off the internet. How I had tracked this dog. Because my son's the one who found her. She was a boxer. And we had a boxer that was dead. And we had to get him a companion because I looked on acres. The dog was dead. But the two of them paired up with the team and they were beautiful, beautiful couple. And I went through holy hell. And then my daughter, I used to have vacation rentals. And the young kids that used to work at the BOHEMIAN that knew my daughter, they would all, I would keep my vacation rentals open when the BOHEMIAN Grove was in, so that the kids wouldn't have to drive back and forth to Santa Rosa, so they could stay local and have fun after working. But you don't even dare take a cell phone on the property.
Oh yeah.
That's an absolute no. So my daughter went into the bathroom and used to text somebody off her cell phone. And they found out that she had a cell phone. They sent in like 6 people. Grabbed her phone. Then escorted her off the property.
How did they know? That's crazy.
They have technology. Yeah, they have technology. They got the.
They have cameras all, remember we talked about there are cameras everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
Plus they have people like remote viewing all the time.
Yes.
Like they're going to know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. He feels, I should say, a little more legitimate than the other two. I'm not sure about the whole dog thing, but he just feels a little more like he might be telling the truth.
The only thing with the dog is people who tell the truth, the truth tends to be simple. And it's like a compact, here it is, good delivery, versus like a drawn out story. So just looking at it behaviorally,
yes,
spirit side, I would question a bit about the dog story.
What about the daughter story?
I'd like to see where it goes, but it seems more compact. I have to see what I feel from spirit on it. Oh, let me see a little bit more. I do have something.
Okay.
Yeah.
Here we go.
We got the hospital cruise that go up there every year.
That's crazy though. Like, I don't even know how that's possible.
She was a treasured waitress of Colin Powell.
Really?
And she didn't even have to be Colin Powell. She was just so laid back, you know.
That's wild.
She didn't know who Colin Powell was.
But she worked there? So I'm assuming this was after they started to let women into the club.
I don't think women are allowed into private or to work. They're not presented.
That's what I've heard, but I've never heard about it. I've never.
They take them to the back room, they take them for governance and everything, and to past in Occidental, drop them down Camp Meeker. But they try to bring them through town.
Really?
Yeah, so it's kind of like a secret house each way to bring them in the back.
Yeah. It's like you read about all that stuff. Kind of like
It's true.
Really?
It's true.
That's what they don't find in books.
It's right, you don't find the birds. Find them from the locals.
That's why I'm here.
Some of the Masonic and stuff used to come in. They used to have the pre-kill for firemen down in Monte Rio. They used to get bored up. They used to bring from the town. And they used to board up from the town. They go out to the golf course out here. Yeah, they were really Well, it's like kind of close. Yeah. But we just would have passed by coming from the contract. You referred to the resurrector. You know that was that I don't know what the name was. I'll think of it here in a second. I'll look it up. It's about Northwick, Northwick. So I was left outside. And what were they doing with the golf course? That's actually convention town. That's what we're saying. Like just club members? Yeah. Out of it being somebody outside that there was some stuff. And then they kind of down. It's always interesting.
Yeah, it's very, very interesting, especially off the South Dakota area. Yeah, I hear that Jeffrey Epstein actually spoke in the president.
And their son worked. They hired teenagers to work their dining. And it was up, but they served liquor. Yeah, well, but they never did lunch and can't serve liquor. Like he worked breakfast and he worked sandwiches. And it was a trip, and I had to drop him off like a half a mile away. He had to walk in. It was this whole thing. That is crazy. Yeah. Wow.
Okay.
I
That was,
don't know.
I couldn't hear a lot of it, and then he didn't have subtitles, so maybe if we turn subtitles on when we watch it back, whoever's, yeah. Yeah, and it still, there's really not that much information that came through.
Mm-mm.
You know, there's a golf course, some senators would play golf and have a drink before they would go, and I mean, it's nice to, I suppose, for a journalist or an investigator or whatever to sort of put those pieces together, but there really wasn't any information there. Teenagers
Yeah.
weren't there. And like we said before, they do let girls in if they, working girls, or apparently maybe even wait staff as well. But actual members. Huh.
It felt like Spirit kind of waved it off, like this isn't important. There's nothing here. Just move on.
Okay, I felt that too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
that's helpful.
Yes, I did. And I thought, oh, is that just me getting bored? Or
I know that's both.
Yes. All right.
When they do that, you're kind of sitting there and feeling bored because they won't interact with you. So you're not going to tell me anything. Dead air.
Yep. Nope, they're not. And just so you all know, Spirit does that a lot.
Yeah.
If it's none of your business, there's nothing to hear. They don't want to. There's all sorts of reasons, but they will. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Not say a word. All right. Are we ready?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So we're about 8 minutes from Bohemian Grove, right? I'm pretty sure that if you'll show that ridge is the grove right there.
Yeah.
And we're in the very tiny town of Guerneville. I think that's how it's pronounced, California. And we couldn't help but notice that there is a massive Masonic lodge here. Now, earlier in this video, we discussed Freemasons. Obviously, a lot of members of the Bohemian Grove are Freemasons. And for such a small town, like a very small town, it's a very large Masonic lodge. And I mean, I know that some small towns have lodges, but I mean, a town like this, I mean, I don't know why.
I don't know if this is active anymore.
Even if it's a lodge that is no longer in use or something, I mean, it's huge.
Okay, I'm going to stop there. I understand what he's saying. However, there is a small town not far from here that has a big one. I think people travel from other places to come there. And I wonder if they like smaller towns, you know, just because it's quieter, there's less people who's going to know your car or going to know your business. And of course, there's all kinds of parking. But I mean, you know, I don't see it as such a weird thing, actually.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Yeah.
I do
And
believe there's a Masonic connection with the Grove.
absolutely. Absolutely. Yes. 100%.
Yeah, I heard Spirit say threads of connection from the Masons to the Grove.
Yeah. All right, here we go.
And they got security cameras up there. But yeah, it's weird. So now I talked to two people just now, one of them whom confirmed that there are prostitutes brought into the Bohemian Grove. Didn't think that we'd get confirmation like that. Another person confirmed that they are employing teenagers there, which I don't think is nefarious on the surface, because there are many summer camps that have teenagers work at them. But I mean, coupled with what the former employee told me earlier, fucking weird stuff going on up there. Figured we'd point this out because it is strange, right?
Very.
All this just raises questions in my mind. Should we look at that antique store? Oh, they're probably closed.
At this point, it was time for us to investigate the Grove. We were on edge, you could definitely say, because we were headed out to the Bohemian Grove in the middle of the night. What you're about to see is 100% authentic footage of our paranormal investigation performed on the outskirts of the Bohemian Grove. This was a dangerous, risky investigation, but we knew that we had to do it in search of the truth behind this entire dark situation.
So right now we're on the trail of Bohemian Grove. We're here outside of Monte Rio, California, and right now this is the Bohemian Highway, because right here, unprotected, surprisingly, no big gates, this is Bohemian Grove, literally right here to my left. All of this property is owned by the Bohemian Club. So tonight we're going to be attempting to explore the area. We're going to get about as close as we can possibly go. Let this car pass. It's really, really eerie. It's like unbelievably fucking quiet out here. I mean, listen.
Forests are unbelievably quiet and eerie. You know what I mean? They really, it does add something to it for sure.
Oh yeah.
Okay. We've had several comments and about this part of this video
About this part.
When they start investigating the actual investigation part of it. So, all right, are you ready?
Yeah, I did get a dark slime on the property. So if you step foot on the property, you may get that on you. It's a spiritual slime, it's not literal.
Right.
And I heard and felt like huge rocks were falling at this area, right along the boundary.
Interesting. Okay.
Maybe a barrier, or maybe there are rocks there. I cannot see. So
yeah, doesn't mean they're not, and there's bound to be somewhere.
Yeah, I mean, it could be whatever quarry rock type of a thing.
Yeah.
And they fall. So
rocks do fall, yes.
Right.
Now the dark slime, that's something that through my experience will happen when there's over time the negative energy builds and it just gets like sludgy, slimy, and it just like spreads out everywhere. And yeah, it sticks to you and it brings your vibration down.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely. So at any point, if you want to stick your toe in that slime and see sort of what comes from that, you certainly can. But
Okay. Oh, interesting. Oh, scary though.
yeah, spooky, as he would say. All right, let's go.
It's really weird because there's like no wildlife sounds.
That would be because like that dark slime stuff. How many times have you've been involved in some of them too, clearing land, and it's just absent of consciousness.
Yeah.
Any animals, or they just leave. They can't handle that energy at all. It's awful. Yeah, so that doesn't surprise me at all, that no sounds, no animal sounds. They can't. That would be something through drumming that we would be able to bring back to start replenishing, right? And replenishing. There's vegetation that no longer grows there that we could bring.
Right.
And yeah, so that would be an awesome thing.
Oh, wow.
Yes. As always, I would love to be called in to clear.
They're
And
not
as always, they would never call us. Not even a little bit. No. But that would be.
Yeah, even they would laugh at that one.
Yes, they would. Yes. All right. Here we go.
You know what I mean? Usually there's like bugs. The air is completely still. But I saw this while we were on the road. Let's go look at this. What the hell is this thing?
Indigenous sovereignty.
I hope there isn't like crazy wildlife that's gonna f me up. Oh, big spiders everywhere. It's spooky though. What is this? Creepy random little shit. Huh? Where? Where? Security cameras. So I have this really sensitive microphone. What's this thing called? Parabolic. I'm gonna point it over towards the grove area and just see if we can pick anything up. And you can
record. There's an SD card on it. like a chipmunk and crickets.
Yeah, it's like too quiet.
Say he's also out by the road, and then there's all the power lines and everything which interfere so much with energy and what's coming through. I love getting new information. It can almost act as a border, keeping the energy inside. You know, the electricity from the power lines, because there's so much going through. Interesting.
Wow.
Yeah. So they're not gonna get a whole lot right there by the street. They're gonna have to go in and on the other side of the power line
Oh, okay.
is what's coming through. Yeah. All right.
I did start to dip into this dark slime.
Huh?
And what came out was like my vulnerability was exposed. Accessing the base emotions. There were a number of emotions and they changed rapidly. Anger and then bordering on insanity and chaos. And feeling like a prisoner to those shifting emotional states, being unable to be grounded, to know myself and know my identity. The more you try and get it off of you, the worse it becomes.
Yeah.
Was what it was like. Obviously, I was able to get it off of me because of spirit and the tools that I know to use, but for other folks
If you're
who are
in
unaware,
there, yes, if you're in there and you're, let's say you are a prisoner there or whatever is happening to you there, it's going to just take hold.
yeah,
And wow, what it's going to do to you.
yes,
Wow.
yeah.
And then feed it. So it's kind of goes both ways. Wow. Okay. Oof. All right, here we go.
Maybe we come up with a story that we're bird watchers. Yeah. This is as far as I'm going.
I wonder what that graffiti means. All right, to anybody who might be out here, any spirits who are energies who are coming from these Bohemian Grove woods, is there anybody here with us?
These fake rocks?
Nope.
I'm going to stop. I feel so many shattered pieces, so many soul pieces. I thus far do not feel, and they're not right up close to him. They're like, I want him to go in just a foot or two.
Right.
You can feel there's is just scared. But a lot of those just pieces of souls that have been left from some who are still living, some who have passed on. But I don't get a full conscious spirit at this point. Do you?
I do not.
Mm-mm. Yeah.
Nope.
All right.
Is there anybody here with us? Can you tell me anything about what happens in these woods? Are there sacrifices performed in these woods?
So he's doing that right under some power lines, right? That's going to
Mhm.
totally mess up that thing that he's using. But so I keep hearing over and over again, and it's from I think a shattered piece. I'm not positive on that. I can't quite get a hold of it, but it's oh my God, no, stop. Oh my God, no, stop. And it's just over and over and over.
Wow.
And just a female. I don't know how young. Everyone's young to me, but young. Teenager, early 20.
Hmm.
Yeah.
There's an area that they showed, I guess, by the electrical pole that if I were there, I would want to go back behind that. I feel a male energy, and I don't know what it is because I would need to go further back to get to it.
And then what is that? Is it an earthing? Is it, what is it? Is it
Right.
someone remote viewing or, I mean, plenty of options.
I can't get it.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's see if you do.
Okay.
Here we go.
Sounds so eerie. Scary. It's an eerie noise. Why did they pick these woods? The wood?
Wood. Are there things that happen in this camp right here? In the Bohemian Grove? Maybe non-consensual?
What kind of rituals are performed here?
It's like weirdly quiet. Oh, can move on to another location.
It's such an eerie sound echoing off the mountains.
Yeah, let me listen one more time since we're here.
A bear just comes down and attacks us.
Oh, that would be
It may be scattered pieces. In one, the male, it felt like fear, but also he was reaching out and grabbing.
Okay.
And that's it. That's all I get for him. But as I stepped a little bit closer, I was turned around physically and pulled backwards like I was being kidnapped or taken.
Interesting. Okay.
So these may be scattered pieces of their, their memories of what they went through.
Mm-hmm.
So the one of him, well, that does make sense. Okay. Have to put it together. I'm just completely missing it. But him taking, right? And then I'm turning and being kidnapped.
Yes.
Oh,
And
wow.
I would say if there's a little fear with him, it's because someone could be getting away or something like
Aha, right,
Right.
right.
Because they're not going to want to have to go back to their boss, whoever he is, and say, it I was whatever with this young girl and she
Yeah.
that would not be a good look for him.
So does this land what I got?
Yes.
Okay. And
Yeah.
that means a scattered piece.
Mm-hmm.
What's the other type? It's scattered, and what's the other one?
Soul pieces. Yeah.
Soul piece.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sometimes I'll say shattered is same as you use scattered. That it kind of you can.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. All right. Here, ready?
Yes.
Favorite before. Okay.
That'd be a hell of a way to sneak in right there. It's so goddamn eerie out here, dude. It's completely quiet. It's completely silent.
I think that's why they like it.
But like, fuck it, there's like a weird energy here.
Yeah.
Not good. Not like good weird.
What's good weird?
I don't know, like a happy haunting?
After investigating that area for a while, we decided to head back and try find another spot where we could search for the spirits that surround Bohemian Grove. Now, this area ended up being ridiculously close to the front gate of the Grove, but while we were walking through the woods just gathering some B-roll before the sunset, we made a somewhat disturbing and eerie discovery.
I wonder if we're being watched. Let's go over to that skate park. Charlie the Dove. See those stairs over there?
In that last clip, you can hear Connor say, we might as well just drive right over to the entrance. And that's precisely what we did. Since we were on the trail of the Bohemian Grove and we wanted to investigate the paranormal energies that might surround this place, we decided to go right to the front door. As you can see, at this point in the night, we had eaten dinner and it was very, very dark out. We had not actually gone up to the Grove area yet, so we didn't know what the area looked like. And let me tell you, this place is heavily guarded. There are signs everywhere saying private property, no trespassing, cameras in the trees. I've spoken with people that have snuck into Bohemian Grove and they have confirmed that they have some incredibly strict security protocols. And, you know, talking to that neighbor earlier, she told us that someone had been in a bathroom at the Bohemian Grove. They had sent a message on their cell phone while in the bathroom, a private area, and 6 Grove members, or employees I should say, had actually, according to her, stormed into the bathroom. So I don't know what that means. I don't know if they have some ability to track cell phones within the property, if they can monitor who's where or use geolocation and data from a phone. I don't know. It's all beyond me, but it's definitely pretty freaky. And when you hear all these stories and these rumors about this place, you hear these allegations about what might be going on here, and you know that the elites of society are visiting this location. You know for a fact that the moment you get close to it, there are going to be eyes on you. Now, whether that's 1 set of eyeballs, 2 sets of eyeballs, however many sets of eyeballs, I don't know. But the moment we got out of the car near the front entrance to the Grove to investigate, we definitely knew that there was something, I want to say, evil in the air. And we had no idea what was about to happen.
Alright guys, so we took a wrong turn but we're just parked on the side of the road right now, off of the public road, and right down there, like what, 100 feet, is the legit, you can see those lights through the trees.
That's the parking lot.
That's the parking lot of Bohemian Grove. So this is about as close as you can possibly get, and I would not be surprised if some sort of like security came and talked to us or something. But dude, this is creepy, bro.
Okay, I'm gonna stop there. I definitely get, yeah, there's security cameras and so forth, but they don't always use them. They do use, now there's remote viewing and there's remote viewing. Like we don't remote view. I know people think we do, but it's different than what we do. There's also a way that these practitioners can astral project, and they could follow them around, etc. I'm definitely getting, though, that there is some, they've known that they're there. Like someone in town, I don't know if it was those, first guys they talked to, maybe there were some others, they didn't put the footage in here, whatever. Someone definitely made contact with them, knew they're about the Bohemian Grove and told. Right? And so they were prepared for
Right.
people coming.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely, right? Yeah.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
And I got that they, through some sort of ritual, magic, etc., they wanted, the Bohemian Grove wanted these guys right here where they are. Like, it's no mistake. They sort of guided, they were like, this is as close as we can get, and we're right at the, and I,
Oh, that's interesting.
yes. There's kind of a sense that they wanted to go somewhere else, but then they thought it was a great idea. Okay, we'll just go here. Well, that was from mind control type stuff.
Huh.
What do you get with that?
It's interesting because of what I am getting.
Oh, what are you getting?
The first thing I'll describe has never happened before, so it'd be great to hear some of your input. I'm either seeing through the eyes of something else, or I don't know how to explain it, but I see the woods, but it's as if seeing through a wormhole. It's
Okay.
I'm moving through,
Mhm.
and then it gets a little smaller and bigger, and then I'm moving through another section and it gets smaller and bigger. It's like a liquid through the air, but you can see through it. Like a wormhole you might associate in space. So is this seeing through the eyes of something else?
Yes.
And I'm moving, I don't feel human. I'm moving through space in a really weird way.
What do you get when sorry.
Sorry. What?
Scrying. If I say scrying to you.
What's that mean?
Okay, so to me, that's what's happening. So your typical scrying is when you're looking into something, like you're looking into a bowl of water, or you're looking into the leaves of a tree or whatever, and your clairvoyance kicks in and you start seeing pictures.
Oh.
So that's typical scrying. However, there are some practitioners who are quite advanced that do magic and so forth that kind of combine scrying and remote viewing. And to me, that's what that feels like.
Okay,
so they're looking into something. Maybe they have a pot of water there or who knows what. Maybe they're looking at tea leaves, if I find them. But I think it feels more like water or something sort of pliable, movable, and they're looking in and psychically going through that to see
What's going on in the
Yes.
forest to monitor.
Yes. Wow, that's really awesome.
That is weird
Yes.
to see it and like feel it happening
Yeah.
as though I'm doing it, which I'm
Yes.
not.
But you're not, no,
I
know
would
you
have
don't.
no idea.
You're not a remote viewer. But that's
And the way that the movement is happening, it's like a section at a time. And then there's like a pause.
okay. Now, I just had chills down my spine. Okay, I've been given some more here. So
Okay.
this practitioner or practitioners, I get several like together in a room and they're doing this ritual together. Many of them much higher not higher vibrational, yikes, in the hierarchy of magic. They can actually use low vibrational beings to do some of their dirty work for them. And there's a lot of sort of give and take between the two. And like Marilyn always says, I always say that the entity is manipulating the human more than the other way around, and she thinks it's about equal. But anyway, I digress. Could they be using some sort of entity to do this same thing, but for them?
Yes.
Does that feel more like what?
That feels like it.
Okay. And they're
'Cause the
gathering
other
information to take it back. And right now they haven't even got there yet, right? It doesn't feel like they're still trying to find them.
Yes. It's
Interesting.
weird when I see it, it's daytime. Their vision of the forest is day. Whether, you know, and I don't know if that's just so that it's very clear to them.
Right.
I have no idea. But I did see what was a low vibrational entity on the ground near them.
Oh, okay.
So maybe it did. It was odd that it looked like the one Pam that I had in my house, which I haven't seen
Interesting.
since that event when, you know, we had to get rid of it.
So it's the same type of
Mm-hmm.
same category, might be a good word. Interesting. Okay. And maybe they're working together. Like, okay, the one is there, and the other has to find the other one to get information back, or God only knows. I don't know. But this would be great to find out a little more. Interesting. Okay. You let me know when you're ready.
I'm ready.
All right.
I'm not only nervous, but I'm like, I just feel like they have like recording devices in the trees and somebody's sitting there like listening to us.
100%.
I wouldn't be shocked.
I'm really nervous.
Okay, let's do a spirit box.
I want to say this. The amount of times that I, and actually you, Heather, as well, have been watched by entities, watched by witches, it can really feel like they're standing right next to you. And sometimes they are. Sometimes they are, but it can feel like an actual person, but it isn't. And you know, once you've done this long enough, as you know, you learn the difference between it's not. So they're talking about like, maybe there's a real person out there somewhere, but I don't think they've sort of been dispatched yet. I think that's certainly possible if they're there too long, or maybe get into a space somewhere else, something, I don't know. But right now, definitely just being watched, and it can feel like a real person. I guess.
Yeah.
The whole reason for me saying all that. Okay, here we go.
By the way, to any government agents, we're just ghost hunting.
Yeah.
We're not going to go on the Grove property. So you do not need to worry about us. We're staying right here. We're actually staying close.
Now, obviously, we're not trying to be sneaky. We have lights on.
Yeah, we want you to know that we're right here so that you don't think that we're doing anything sus.
Old man?
Goldman. Or Goldman could be the name of something. I bet there's a Goldman that comes here.
The closest I could come to getting an answer to this was through a WikiLeaks document. So, WikiLeaks released the 2008 guest list at Bohemian Grove, and when I did a search, I found a Kenneth S. Goldman was in attendance that year. Now, I don't know who Kenneth is. I'm not alleging that Kenneth did anything at all, but I think it is interesting that we got his name on our device the moment that we turned it on, and he, in fact, in the past, had attended Bohemian Grove.
If there are any spirits here or energies, what can you tell us about what happens in the woods behind us? Street? Frequent street? In the cafe. There's earlier today I was talking to the guy about being smuggled in through the chef. Can you tell us? This is gonna be kind of rough, but footsteps right there. You've been inside?
This is one thing that drives me nuts. Is they take these words and then add their own wherever they like have you been inside? Like they add their own intent to the word.
Right.
And they're just words that are flying out. You don't know the intent at all. And you see this a lot with ghost hunters. They add their own intent to the words to make it what they want.
Sure.
Yeah. They don't always use all the words. So it's like, well, you either use them or you don't, but you can't cherry pick. So those things I'm not real fond of those talking things. What were you going to say?
I saw the entity spewing that dark slime, like projectile. So that may be its purpose.
Sure.
In being there is to affect them.
Absolutely. And that could also be where some of those words are just flying out.
Oh, well, yes. Yeah, I hadn't even thought about that. Yeah.
Absolutely. And
that's
also the entities can also throw out words to make it seem like there's an earthy there, or it's all smoke and mirrors, the whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting, Heather. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Are there ever any parties that happen inside? Sequences. Do you mean that there's a sequence to these events?
It's nice to talk again.
Choices.
There's choices when you come here.
Are some of the people who come here to the camp sleeping with each other?
Suspect.
They suspect they do. Obtaining. Are there women that are secretly brought in here? Dressed. Abs. What the f? Men dressed as women having sex with each other? Is that gunfire?
Also, the way this has been edited, I mean, they're probably there a lot longer than, they just cut it down, which makes sense. When you do videos, you can't, we do the whole thing because but they're there for hours and hours. They have to cut that down. And so it makes it look like there's a lot more going on, a lot more close together than
Yes.
is really happening.
When it can take
Yes.
long periods in between responses.
Right. And this is in no way for all of you Colin super fans out there that watch this. We like him. So
yeah, I really do.
Yeah, we both do. And we both think he's great and he's done a lot of work. He and his team have done so much work out here. And we've praised him before. We want to make sure we do that because I know people get upset when I say something about ghost hunters. But no, we do like him. But I can also call things out when I see them. That's why we're here. So
For sure.
yeah. All right, let's go.
Okay.
The shutters in the cafe. The shutters. Are you saying that some of this happens in the kitchen and cafe in the camp when the shutters are closed? Rear window or something. Are there ever any children that are brought in here and not for family purposes? Coordinated? Do you mean that there are kids coordinated and year? Do you mean there are kids that are brought in and it's coordinated with some of the members who want the children? Is that what you mean? Sacrifice. Has there ever been a child that's been murdered inside of that campground? Has there ever been a We are being watched. Has there ever been a child killed inside of the campground? Maybe sacrificed?
So that entity you saw sitting near the ground, do you see him pacing now? Or where do you see him?
I see him still.
Okay.
Doesn't mean he hasn't been pacing, but I see him just back behind Colin, kind of on the.
Then my next question was, do you see another one then who's like, and I'm not sure if pacing is the right word, but I see him sort of like just paying attention kind of around them.
Ah, okay.
So do you see another one? Maybe it's not the same one.
Okay, what I got earlier was what I didn't, I'm not seeing anything, but earlier, meaning like a minute or two ago, I felt something thudding around, like a heavy weight, but I didn't see anything. So that might be what you're seeing, but it felt very oppressive. And it was just this huge weight, like boom, 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 boom. So that could be it. I don't see anything at this time.
Okay. No, there's something here. I think we're both getting and we're not connecting the dots.
Yeah,
we're not meant to connect the dots either, I don't think. Doesn't mean we can't.
Feel the thudding.
You what? Say that again?
I still feel it. It feels huge to me. the way it's booming on the land, for lack of a better description.
How else do you say it? Yes. Okay. I'm gonna pay attention to that. Let me know when you're ready.
I'm ready.
Didn't that sound like a scream? Didn't that sound like a scream? You're acting more sus doing that. Listen. 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 Sounds like a kid.
I do want to say, when you're in the woods, there are a lot of animals out there that can sound very human.
Mhm.
I'm not picking up on anything multidimensional here, or interdimensional, I guess. That could be some animal, and there are a lot of different, it's not just like bird, there are all kinds of fuzzy animals too, furry animals, that make, even I've heard Sasquatch can even make that sound like someone scream, they can, it's unlimited in the woods, really, what those screams are. And I'm not getting anything, I'm not pinpointing anything. I just wanted to say that.
I got a huge push as I'm trying to hone in on this, and I was just feeling the impact, almost like my point of view was the earth, connecting to the earth and feeling the impact and trying to see what comes of this thing. It's like there was this boom, just this huge push. What does that mean?
Was it not wanting you to go somewhere to see something? Like, was it a push like stay back? Or like you hit some sort of force field kind of thing? Like, or was it more of a person type feel push?
Not person.
Okay.
Yeah.
Could have been that big blob thing saying no. Or just force field.
It might have been not wanting me to see or the force field.
Mm-hmm. And both things can exist at the same time. Right?
Yes.
Interesting.
Okay. Oh. Not sure yet. I'll see if I get anything else.
Okay, we'll keep going.
Okay.
We're fine here, though. We're on the side of the road. That is interesting. I did not notice that. Lips. Just like him. Dude, maybe it's a kid.
My body was taken.
My body was taken. Like, what? Were you assaulted in this area before being murdered? Provider.
See, I think this is all coming from that, what'd you call it, that dark slime, come from the shattered pieces, the soul pieces, and it's just little bits and pieces, and they're just getting thrown out there, and their equipment is picking things up. But it's, yeah, but it's from different things.
Yes.
Uh-huh. And I do want to say something. So earlier I said, when I was talking about them editing, and I said, we just go all the way through. Sometimes we do edit out, because sometimes we have to sit for a while and we're paying attention and we're trying to get some information and it's a long gap of just silence. So sometimes we will edit that, just our silence out, but we don't edit out anything else.
Right.
So I just wanted to make that clear to people so they're not going, oh, you're lying. I've seen some edit things in there. Yeah, but it's just those times when we're really in it. Yeah. And you all
Right.
don't just sit there watching us.
Watching us stare.
Yes, for a minute. A minute's a long time on silent areas. 15, 20 seconds is a long time. Yeah. So, all right. Should we keep going? You ready?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
A doctor? Is there a real body burn? Or is somebody really killed during the cremation of care ritual? Tell us something. Tell us one of the secrets about this place. Superior visitor. Wait, move your light a little bit. Up and down. Hey, do you see that glowing? That glowing light.
Arthur.
You see superior visitor. Arthur?
Oh, that was it. Okay.
Okay.
That stopped abruptly, didn't it?
Sure did.
Okay. Stopped with Arthur. It felt like there at the end that energetically maybe they got the information they needed, and so they were pulling back, like whoever was sort of watching them. I don't know if they decided, yeah, nothing to worry about, they're not getting anything, whatever, or I don't know. Maybe someone is going to physically come now. Don't know.
Oh.
Maybe we'll find out in the next. Well, we should, because it would be right at this one. We'd find out the next one,
There
right?
might be more information.
Yeah. So, I do want to talk about what we would do to clear.
Okay.
Is there anything you want to talk about, just about what we watched before we?
One thing I'd like to mention is we try and share as much as we can. There are times that spirit will be silent. They'll be silent on what exactly this is that that they're interacting with, or that we're coming into contact with, whether that is a ghost, whether that is an elemental or a lower vibrational entity. We may not find that answer out, and we've learned to accept it.
Yes.
And we have to funnel our curiosity elsewhere, because it's up to spirit to determine whether we need the info. So we do appreciate and thoroughly understand when you guys ask, because we were the exact same way of, can we know? But
Yes,
the more
yes.
spirit just went dead silent, and we're like, no, you can't.
No.
We had to accept it. So that's important to keep in mind when we do answer you and say, I don't know. It's, we're not dismissing you. We really
love all the questions. We love that you get curious. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely. Curiosity is very important, and it's a healing emotion.
And spirit does not label the way people do. Our brains, our egos want us to label things. spirit just doesn't label. We
Right.
put labels on things sometimes because well, first of all, we're human, and we know that that's kind of the way that our viewers would understand, because you're all ghost hunter watchers. Ghost hunter watchers, yeah, that works. And they tend to label everything, but it's a human nature, but we can't always do that. And yeah, exactly. Sometimes we'll say, well, what more about this? And spirit will just go, basically,
Yeah.
none of your business, or it just doesn't matter.
Yes.
Move on. It doesn't, this will take you down a rabbit hole, and it's going to bring you nothing. Just let
Yeah.
it go, move on. Absolutely. Yeah, good point. Okay, so this would be fabulous to be called in to clear. So fabulous. Obviously it would take many of us, and it would be
Oh, yeah.
amazing. Drums, rattles, humming, singing, a lot of moving energy, almost kind of a dancing thing. You kind of, in these situations like this, you just sort of let the earth just sort of guide you, and
it wants to. The earth
yes.
here wants to heal.
Oh, so bad.
So it would be an active participant.
Yeah. Oh,
You know,
absolutely.
if we could come in, or others could come,
Yeah.
whomever was invited and able to do so, the earth would be ready to go.
Yes. We would certainly call back, call in, ask to rejuvenate, all the consciousness, whether it's worms, insects, all winged ones, two-legged ones, four-legged ones, whoever, everyone who lives off the land, we would energetically call them in to help, to rebuild, all the soul pieces and shattered and scattered. We would all send them back to their original soul, whether that's a living one or a not living.
Sure.
What are you giggling at?
No, I think it's beautiful.
Oh,
No, and when even times when I've been a part of doing that, of sending pieces back, it's the most beautiful thing.
Isn't it? Yeah.
So I'm imagining it happening and wishing that could at this.
Yeah. And in times of trauma, and really, you can't even say like high trauma. Trauma can be, if you're sitting there say you're reading a book and something really loud happens behind you, that's traumatizing. You can actually lose a soul piece at that moment.
Mm-hmm.
So trauma is trauma. Like it doesn't have to, but here, of course, there's all kinds of, horrifying trauma. So there's a lot of pieces there, but sending them back, that would be something we would do. The grids with the earth, as you're drumming and you're moving and they sort of fix themselves almost. So it's not like in a house or something where we kind of have to make that happen. With the earth, she does it. It's really beautiful. So it would be lovely to get in here. Yeah, absolutely. And then bring in that high, and Mother Nature can hold that high vibration so beautifully. Oh, yes, it would be fabulous. So that's what we would do. And it would be beautiful, maybe even a bonfire, and us all around a bonfire. How awesome would that?
Yeah.
That would be so lovely. So there you go. And no, we have not been asked, unfortunately. We never will be.
Right.
So, all right, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in. We have 2 more to do after this. Looking forward to it. Getting more information, leave your comment, subscribe, share, like, do all that. If you have activity at home,
Let us know.
Office, wherever, yes, reach out. We don't charge for that service. We charge for other services, but paranormal help, we do not. All right. Well, thank you, everyone. Thank you, Heather. Again, this was fabulous. Yes. All right. See you all next time.
Bye.